There are many ways in which we can interpret the story of Jacob and Esau. Sibling rivalry, parents playing favorites, the lies our children tell us and that we willingly accept as truth. Even, as I've sometimes thought about it, the metaphor of the evil twin, the dark side of our own personalities. Because of the connections the Torah makes between Esau and the Edomites, there's also the nearly explicit linkage of Jacob and Esau to the nations that they represent, Israel and Edom, or later, Israel and Rome. But on the level of the people themselves, the individuals, we can also see the story as an illustration of a particular type of relationship between brothers. It is marked by rivalry, to be sure, but it also tells us something about what it means to be an older brother, or to want to be one. Jacob is the younger of these two brothers, but through guile, he wins his older brother Esau's blessing and his birthright as firstborn. Through deception, Jacob becomes the older brother. For those who are older brothers or older sisters, we should think about how that felt to Esau. Everything that he imagined that he was, or that he would be, was suddenly gone. Put in his place, would anyone feel less anger, disappointment, or betrayal than he did? For those who are younger brothers or sisters, can we imagine taking an older sibling's place in the family? If we've ever considered doing just that, then the story of Jacob and Esau is a cautionary tale about the emotional costs of that kind of familial displacement. At the same time, as readers, we knew all along that Jacob had to come out ahead in the story, because we know that he is to become Israel, the father of the tribes and all subsequent Jews, and that God had predicted that outcome to the boy's mother Rebekah, when the boys were in utero. It was Jacob's destiny to take his brother's place. The emotional outcome, while sad for Esau, was built into the very structure of their lives. This is who they were meant to be. It was who they were created to become. The reason that that is important is that Jewish tradition does indeed assume that these figures are stand-ins for the Jewish people and the stronger, more numerous, ostensibly dominant cultures against which Jews have defined themselves over the centuries. If being the younger brother means surviving and thriving, despite the built-in disadvantage of our being a small and seemingly powerless minority, then we have an intriguing model for Jewish identity in our own time. If Jacob is the Jewish people, and Esau is, say, the dominant culture of America, to what extent are we a twin to that culture, seeing ourselves in it and it in us? And to what extent do we define ourselves against it? At what point in our lives are we willing to opt out of what everyone else does, forge a new path, and upend expectations by making the claim for our older brother's blessing and birthright? What would it mean to really see ourselves as Jacob now? I'll provide you one small illustration to think about. We all assume that the dominant mode of educating children through the public school system is the default setting for us, just as it is for most American families. What if acting like Jacob meant asserting that we have a better model, that of opting out of that system and resetting the default for educating our children at Jewish day schools? What if we set as a goal an affordable Jewish day school education for every Jewish child? The message is that we are not our older brother, though we share much with him. We have a destiny as Jews and a character all our own, one that sometimes demands dramatic action in order to make that destiny a reality. Being Jacob means not taking for granted that things are the way that they should be. From all of us here at Congregation Beth Judea, Shabbat Shalom.